Welcome back to the Sick Boys Podcast. I am your host, JD Denham, across the way in sunny Arizona. Just my co-host, Justin Wenzel, my brother. What is up, dude? What's happening?
Oh man, just we were just kind of discussing it, it's funny how the problems now that are problems of ours these days compared to the problems that we used to have are just insane. It's
Mind
it's
blowing.
not yeah, it's like the things that like irritate me now are issues at the Mercedes dealership. Like
Bro,
it's not the
I,
same as
uh,
it once was.
I had this. I posted something, so you might have seen it, but I want to touch on it for a sec because when you have different successes and things go this way and that way. One of the negatives that happens is people expect stuff from you and this and that. They want you to post for them and all that. I'm not bitching as much as just talking about it, and it becomes at times a lot to the degree where if I allow it. So my point of that is this. I was letting it kind of get to me. I was agitated. People only call me when they want something, and that frustrates me. And then, but bro, I was praying on it. I really was. I'm like, God, kind of let me find some peace in this. And then one day, I'm not joking, dude. I woke up a couple days ago. It was so freaking rad, bro. Cause I was praying through it. I really was. I was working through it as I do. And I woke up and just literally landed on the perspective where I was supposed to be, which I just woke up and it was in so much freaking gratitude. I was almost to the point I've never experienced it to that gravity. I was just I was so grateful. I was thinking about all the rad stuff that's going on with my wife and I, with my kids. I'm on a pocket pile full of blessings. And I'm not even talking about the tangible stuff. I'm talking about blessings, man. My life is freaking good, dude. But life don't want you there, bro. The world don't want you there. The devil don't want you there. Whatever the hell you want to choose it, it's the same. So it wants to knock you off your axis. It wants to knock you off joy. It wants to knock you off contentment, right? And how does it do that? It goes, oh, people want something from you or this and that. But that doesn't mean shit, man. What matters is the fact that I'm sitting on a bunch of blessings and I should be grateful.
Well, let's talk about that a second. And this is pretty cool because right now you live in such abundance that you have people. Let me ask you this, JD. When you were shooting heroin behind a dumpster, how many people wanted things from you?
I took.
Right. You wanted, but now you're sitting on such abundance and people see it. And of course that, it's inconvenient. It's kind of a waste of time. And it kind of makes you think oh, are you a fair weather friend and things like that. But at the end of the day, the only reason that they even feel comfortable asking you for anything is because you're sitting on such abundance. You've arrived.
Yeah.
Right. Here's another way to look at it. What I was just saying is the things that I consider problems these days, the things that I consider inconveniences these days,
Right.
have nothing to do with them being actual inconveniences. It's because it's inconvenient or that it bothers me or that it offends me or that it upsets me, the actual thing. What the inconvenience is my time, right? So the things that used to bother me back in the day, or the problems and the catastrophes and the chaos and the drama and everything that, I created that and it wasted time. It was problems that I would cause that would waste time. But now I have problems that happen that waste time. And because I value my time so much more, it's irritating to me. So
Yeah.
when it was like, oh my God, I was hammered for 2 weeks straight and blew a bunch of money on drugs, and now my significant other is running out on me, and this is just an example for anybody.
Right.
Okay, that was a problem that you created, right? And that wasn't an inconvenience, that was a catastrophe. But now it's and again, this isn't meant to sound braggadocious or whatever, but now it's okay, I had to have my windshield replaced on my brand new S-Class, and it threw a bunch of lights, and now my car is sitting in the shop and we have to go back and forth with them and deal with a bunch of bullshit, right? That's a problem now. But that problem isn't a problem because of the car. It's not a problem because I give a fuck about the car or anything like
Right.
that, but it's the inconvenience that it's taking up my time. And
Well,
my time is very, very
though,
valuable.
but I get it. I love it. I agree. But also, like I said, that's the negative force, whatever. Again, let's just call it the negative force, right? Of the world that doesn't want you content, Justin. Doesn't want you to sit in your gratitude of being successful. It wants to antagonize your character by,
Mm,
God damn it, dude, I gotta go fix my freaking windshield. You know what I mean? Like it's an inconvenience for your time for sure. And it's also an inconvenience because it wants to knock you off your positive access, your joy,
yeah.
your contentment, and all that stuff. So instead of like my addiction anymore coming at me with a bag of dope, which used to knock me off my axis that easily, now it's like slithering through and going like, people want something from you because you've made it. You know,
Yeah.
and you should be irritated because you're getting all these phone calls. You know what I mean? But
Meanwhile, you should be stoked that you made it.
yeah, dude, and that's what I'm saying. So I woke up that day and like I fell upon the right perspective, which is my life freaking is amazing, dude. And I was sitting in this moment. I went outside because I was just wow, man. I was just in such a gratitude moment. I like literally went outside, Justin. I'm not even kidding you, looking out of my canyon. It was like 4:30, dark, and in just this euphoric feeling of gratitude. And I literally almost felt like the presence of God was like, dude, like I got you, man. Like it was rad, bro. And then like it's
Yeah.
been great ever since because the world don't want you in joy. The world don't want you in contentment. Tangible things are great. They don't bring happiness. They bring like to a degree luxury and like life's easier with nice things. It's nice to go to a steakhouse and if you want to buy two steaks because you can afford it, that's awesome. I don't want to like have to like look at the cost because that sucks. But you know what I mean? Like, but like in regards to like the things that are priceless, there's no price tab on it for me at least is joy, contentment, peace of mind, right? Serenity. All these things come and they're always under construction. They're never completed, and that's what the world wants to knock you off of it. Your windshield broke. Hey man, it's all good, dude. If you're in the pocket of peace and you're in one of those like nothing's gonna affect me, you're like, dude, whatever, dude. It's all good.
But
Life's
you know
good.
what's funny is that when it happened, we literally, Christine and I were having the best day ever, right? We were having the best day. I ran into the dude from one Jeff Scalt who owns One Golden Thread, the t-shirts that I wear, all these t-shirts that it's like the only
Yeah,
brand
I
I
saw
wear.
that. That was
He
rad.
pulled me aside. He knew exactly who I was, blah, 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 blah. We went to church. We trained after church. We had a great brunch. We had such a beautiful day. And then I got on the 17 and there wasn't even a car in front of me. And somehow like a rock just threw up in the air and whatever and that didn't phase me. I had like a huge crack across my windshield, and if you guys don't, my car is a very very nice car, and I was like, oh fuck, whatever, okay, cool. And she's like, I'm surprised you love this car. Like I can't believe it didn't bother you. I was like, it's a windshield, it's no big deal. That didn't bother me. The actual like none of that. Like
Right.
I was totally
You
fine.
gotta
It
wait
wasn't
some time
that.
to go fix it.
But it was the time that it took to like, and not even the time that it took to go fix it, but the time then after that, them messing up, and then the time that it's then taken like to do whatever, and Freddie being taken away because Freddie's the one who handles it all. I don't actually go to the dealership. But either way, like now I have one of my employees taken away from the time like of us being able to do other things, and that was what really bothered me. Anyways, I agree, and I like that idea. So today, actually, funny enough, speaking of Jeff from One Golden Thread, I was on a call with Jeff Ree, who works for One Golden Thread as well, and we spent about an hour and a half talking, and we shared each other. We talked, we shared our stories and things like that. And he had asked me a question about kind of a similar thing to what you experienced. And he asked me, what do I define as, um, how did he put it? What do I define as, uh, I guess freedom, maybe, and what that actually meant to me, and what it was, and
Sovereignty.
maybe, but he didn't use that word, and it was really it was a question that kind of threw me aside because he had asked me before, like what were like what traumas did you actually deal with, and how did you deal with it, and I was able to answer that and come back at, and it's always funny because like everybody's level of trauma is different, and for me, like some people would look at like my trauma and be like, like you haven't done shit. My story, some of my
Yeah.
stories, like the accident with my brother and things like that. But that's not really the point. And when I sat there for a second, I thought about it and I was like, okay, so For me, freedom is contentment. Freedom and it's freedom of time, right? Like financial freedom is whatever, that's fine, that's easy. But freedom of time is, because a lot of people have financial freedom but don't have freedom of time.
100%.
So freedom of time is another one. And then it was communication and vulnerability, and being able to be around people that you can communicate with on a certain level, right? uh your life is determined by who you do life with, and when you can
Ooh,
do life with people who are good at communicating, are able to exchange vulnerability, which is, by the way, that like the best human connection that you can have.
dude.
That's to me, that's freedom, because that creates abundance, because you have people close to you that you can build with, and you
Yeah.
can share with, and you can grow with, and those are the things to me that mean the most. So one kind of leads to the other, right? Like, some
Well,
people get
let's talk
so
about that for a second. So that's great. So and I'm not going to tell you my answer here because I want to hear your true answer without me tarnishing it in any way. Do you feel like you have that?
contentment or
No,
freedom of
like the
time.
people to share it with on such a vulnerable connection.
I have you.
Yeah, I agree.
I have
But that's
Freddie.
recent.
I have Christina. I have Jay. I have Keith. Yeah. I have
The
I have
reason
a
I say that
roll.
is because you know me too, because I've talked about it quite a bit. I've had, a lot of backstabbing recently in life. It's like, I'm not saying poor me. It is what it is. But
No.
those authentic, genuine, vulnerable relationships are freaking rare for me. I have them, like I'm not saying this out of convenience, nor are you. You and I connect. We could talk about. We love this stuff. This isn't even a podcast. We're just talking. It's like I called you. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Um, but that's rare, you know. It's rare for me at least, I guess more because like I am guarded from people, meaning I kind of keep them at arm's length for a degree. Like, no offense. I don't think it's jaded, but it's gonna come off as jaded if you don't know me.
Well, can we have an honest conversation on
Yeah.
this? So first of all, and we were going to go into this, and I still want to go into this, but first of all, okay, you're my favorite man. Like, I hold you in the
Right.
regards of like
Connection right away.
the top guys. Yeah, absolutely. Ronald Reagan, his famous quote: "Trust but verify." Right? Trust
Love
but
it.
verify.
I love it. I'm
And
gonna hold
so
that.
when we have our guard up constantly, and I see that with you, but I also see a different side of you when we're in the gym and stuff like that. In fact, I think that I have my guard up in the gym more than you do. Like, for example, and I don't want to name names and things like that, but we've there are some guys that you are friendlier with than I open up to, and I
Mhm.
think you've seen that
Yeah, yeah.
before.
Sure.
And there's good reason for it, right? um I think that sometimes, like you want to make not an appearance, but like kind of an impression on people right away, and you don't realize that you don't even have to do that,
You
because
think that I do?
yeah, I don't like, I think that you think you have to, but I don't think, but you don't realize that, like, you alone and just being yourself is an impression enough.
Mhm.
And sometimes I think it's like, sometimes when you warm up to people too quick, that it can create a situation where you are set up to be disappointed, right? Your and my relationship, actually, it's as much as we hit it off like that, it did build over time, right?
Sure.
We had met a couple times, then we didn't see each other for months, and then we ran into the gym together, we trained and stuff like that. But then the minute we had a true, intimate, vulnerable connection and we spent a day together, then the rest was history,
I watched
right?
a couple of those clips last night, and it's funny because it's the genesis of this. It's the genesis of our friendship, and like it was the first clip that you and I got on recording of like anything, and just us sitting down as we lifted, and then we went and ate at that steakhouse. I didn't even know what Freddie did. Like I didn't know your situation. Like I didn't know your protocol. We were sitting there about to get some steak, and we just were talking, and and Freddie was recording it, and we had this authentically genuine conversation about just some deep stuff that like, and it was so easily connected. I thought it was rad. I watched some of those clips last night and I was like, wow, that was freaking cool. It's the genesis of
Yeah.
everything. It was rad.
So that's what happened right there, was a vulnerable exchange. And so for me, of course, I believe in my charisma. I believe in power, presence, and warmth. And I do try to show that. And that comes off very natural for me when I'm around people. And it does for you too. But
Mhm.
I don't think you realize that you have it.
I try,
And
I'm thinking of that because that's interesting. I've never heard it put that way, but as I think of like, let's say we go to the gym and like there's dudes that are there we don't know. My what I try to do is I don't want to say befriend people because that's not what I do. I try to make people feel comfortable by introducing myself because I like to like I don't like to be the dude walking in and like I mean, if I'm in a bad mood and tired, I'm human. But usually it's like, hey, what's up, man? How are you, dude? And then that guard comes down for all of us, and then it's more comfortable. You know what I mean?
do you think though that maybe you give like I no I don't think any of that. I think that's perfect. That's a perfect play. Do you think maybe though you give too much of yourself to people without them giving that back to you?
Sure. But
That see
so
that's
that's a it's a question, and I'll throw it in a slightly different form. Um, where I brought this up before, but like one of the things Darko taught me when I first got sober that I embraced and I really have lived by with the best of my ability. He said, JD, when somebody asks for help, we say yes. And he didn't elaborate on it more. I took that for whatever I took that, but I took it for its words. Like if someone needs my help, I help them. Now, as my growth has grown and some of my finances have grown and things like that kind of comes along with it. There's people that ask for handouts, and this is not a knock on anybody. This is not what I'm talking about. But I'd still try to live by that. And it's not about anything except for me. I'm not going me. I'm great. But it's left me burnt by quite a few people. But
mm,
but the reason I say that is this. This is the point of that. I'm gonna still be me, dude, and I'm gonna probably get burnt. And at the end of the day, it might be a lonelier climb wherever God's taking me. But I met guys like you. You know what I liked about you, bro? Like I don't say this out of convenience. You can ask my wife. Like you're successful. You're not looking for anything from me.
no.
I'm not even talking about tangible things. Like you're looking for friendship, and like that's what it is. Like
Mhm.
it's kind of a quid pro quo. We're just looking for like good conversation. Like I like calling you and having a conversation about this stuff, like as if there's no cameras on right now. I enjoy
Mhm.
this stuff. It lifts me up. I feel good when I get off the phone with you.
I think a lesson that I learned over the years is don't dilute your time and don't give it away to just anybody and everything. Yeah, help people, help everybody, but I'm talking on more of a personal connection level,
Yeah,
right? Like how many people do you really share those vulnerable experiences with? And for me, like I'll be the first one to get vulnerable with somebody, but if they don't give it back to me in exchange, lose my number.
yeah.
And that's that because to me I think that it's not transactional, but it is a transaction, to where it's like, if I open up to you and you can't open up to me, then this isn't going to work.
Well, do you find
Don't.
that more common or more rare?
Well, it's rare. It's rare in with men because we're taught
Guards.
to stay on guard, and that's okay because I don't want to be friends with every man.
Agreed.
But I think that it's like, it goes back to like I'm gonna trust you, and I'm gonna like I think a lot of people will say this about myself is that I see the best in everybody. And I'm not a pessimistic person because I understand that most people are good people,
Right.
and most people have your best interest in mind, and a lot of people walk around thinking that everybody's a piece of shit, and that's no way to live.
Mhm.
And I truly believe that most people are like the vast majority of people are good people,
Mm.
and have your best interest in
Wow,
mind.
that's really
And
heavy right there because I definitely would disagree with that.
that's a
And
tough place to be.
I don't say it in the sense of, I only say it from the viewpoint of 48 years of, like, looking at life, like, unfortunately, most people aren't rooting for you. We've discussed it. That's kind of one of the unfortunate things that I've learned in the last couple of years is life has taken me to different successes where I'm more seen. Success is more like on
But
trains.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I think that it's red car theory. I think it's that you assume that most people aren't rooting for you, so you only see the people who
It's
aren't rooting
possible.
for you.
I mean, that's a really good lens to
Because
look at it. But I don't know if I've ever like looked at it through that lens, but I
let's look
realize.
at it. Most people have good credit. Most people have good credit. Like the vast majority of people have good credits. That means most people pay their bills on time. Most people do not have felonies, misdemeanors, things like that. Way more people don't have any problems like that.
Yeah,
Most people don't have drinking and drug problems. Like the vast majority of people do not have drinking and drug problems. Most people only have one drink or one and a half drinks when they do drink, right? Like, and that I'm talking about vices, habits, and things like that.
I know. I totally get
But
where you're going with it. I get it.
but most people are not the people that we knew. Most people are not the people that we have surrounded ourselves with and that we have been
So you're thinking I'm
exposed
kind of
to.
projecting a little bit.
Well, I don't think yeah, it might be projecting, but I think it is simply this is what you know, so this is what you see.
That's
And I
interesting,
think
man.
when your eyes are opened up to the fact that like if you walk into a room of 1,000 people, the vast majority of them are rooting you on. The vast majority of them are great. The problem is that we get jaded because of what we've experienced in our network or in our
Yeah.
surroundings or in our
Well, because
community.
I think that's that's interesting. I'm going to actually think on this conversation quite a bit, to be honest with you, because it's definitely a different viewpoint that I have not
I
probably
used to
looked
think
through.
like you. I used to think like you. And when I was open to that, when somebody told me that, and I forget who it was, but somebody said, no, Justin, you realize that most people are great people. Most people are good people. And when I heard that and
I
I
love it,
really
man.
thought about
I
that,
love
it
it.
changed my perspective and it allowed me to not have my guard up as much, but only to give enough of myself until I see the same in return from them. And so like yeah, like I like when I meet somebody, I never think, oh, that person's a piece of shit, or I never think like you know, you want to know what it is too, is that so I used to sell cars in Detroit, right? I sold used cars in Detroit and selling used cars in Detroit, most people that walk into the showroom have bad credit,
Yeah, right.
right? So, and this happens to people in the automotive industry where they become jaded, and then everybody has bad credit. But then you go sell new cars in West Michigan, and everybody has good credit.
Right.
Or like
It's the
you
angle you're
sell.
looking at.
Right. And so when I found out like most people have good credit, like if you go on you've been in mortgages for a long time. If you go on Expedia's thing where it shows the average, like the average is like a 720 credit score, it's good credit,
I mean, that is a
right?
very interesting way to drop that down, bro. I mean, the way that you broke that down is very interesting, man. I don't know if I would have caught up to that by myself. Anyway, so the
Because
conversation
we
is
assume
awesome.
everybody doesn't pay their bills. We assume everybody misleads people. We assume everybody
Yeah,
lies.
but
We
most
assume
do.
all of that.
Yeah, right.
But most are not that way.
Mm,
Most, like I said, most drinkers, most people who drink alcohol have one and a half drinks, maybe once a month. Most
interesting.
people. That's like the vast majority, meaning that they have a drink and then they leave half at the bar when they go to pay their bill.
Right.
That's like very normal, very that's like what it typically is, what a bartender typically sees when somebody
That's
walks in.
crazy. Wow.
And
Yeah,
and
man,
we it's like
that's
we
great. I
can't even
like it.
fathom it.
I'm gonna dig into this in my head a little bit over the next few days, bro. It's awesome.
Because it will allow you to drop your guard a little bit and realize that like it's not everybody is out to get you, and it's actually a pretty narcissistic thing to think that everybody's out to get me, because they're not. And so and we work with a lot of people, we talk to a lot of people, and the thing is we may attract that around us because of our story, because of our past, and people are just getting out of those situations and they
Yeah,
still have some of their character defects.
sure.
But most people are not in AA. Most people don't even know what character defects are. Most people don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Most
right.
people don't like before I didn't even
12
know so
stairs. What stairs? Another steps.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's one thing too, is that trust but verify. Understand that most people are good people,
Right.
but that doesn't mean that you have to open up to them and befriend them right away. Show your charisma, power, presence, and warmth,
Mhm,
right? And give them an opportunity to give it to you in return. If they don't give it to you in return, then move on,
mhm.
right? and that doesn't mean like don't be kind to them and don't acknowledge them and so on and so forth, but don't
Yeah,
invest more
feed you no
time
matter
into
what,
them than you have to.
but you
Right.
can do it like you can match their
You can meet them where they are,
yeah,
right? But even that takes energy.
for sure. Interesting, man. That was I'll think on that. Maybe that will make me think. I mean, it was definitely put in a way that I had not looked at yet. So, of
Do you think that that would, do you think that that would, do you think that that adopting that mindset will help you, or do you think
course.
it will,
Of course.
yeah.
I mean, I think though that's why I love these conversations. Like, right? If you what are good conversations that you get something out of? Like, I'm not
Mhm.
trying to be right here. I'm trying to find growth. I'm trying to like find truth, whatever truth is. And like for me, what has worked for me, and it's what I've cultivated in just myself, which is like I said, how I worked through some of the stuff the other day where I was kind of like frustrated, and then I caught up to the that where I was sitting in the pocket of the gratitude. I worked to get there because I was praying through it. I was thinking through it and I was working through it. I knew I was aware of what was happening. You can't fix an alcoholic problem until you know it's there or admit it,
Mhm.
right? So then I, but I'll think on this, bro, and we'll tap into it again in regards to. It was a good viewpoint to look at. I definitely
Can I
will,
give you
man.
another, can I give you
Inherently,
another,
people are good, and it's me that's the person that's making them bad in my head.
maybe,
Possible.
or it's just like a general perception. The other thing too is that like
Possible.
realizing that you've done the work, right? And this is another thing too, where it's like, don't dilute, don't cheapen your time, and don't, and like, yeah, maybe meet somebody where they are, but here's the thing about the energy of that. You don't have to give that
That's
energy,
true.
right? So instead, when you carry power, presence, and worth, when you carry a true charisma, okay, you don't have to cheapen your time. You have to understand that you can carry your authority into an interaction with somebody,
Yeah.
right? Like they're like, and this isn't meant to be arrogant, but they are actually fortunate. They are very lucky to have your energy and time, and that's okay, and you can recognize it and come from the standpoint that I'm going to give this person my time because I have put the work in and I know that I can
Yeah,
make an
like I put
impact in
my
their
all in
life.
shit. Any relationship.
Yep.
I put my all
Right.
in everything, like and like that's some of the stuff that like I love about us, guys like us and others. It's just like, dude, like I think I talking about a different my podcast the other day, but I was saying like, dude, at the end of my day, I know I've done a good day when I turn around and I am freaking exhausted. I have given my all to my day and I am got nothing left to give because I have loved hard. I have worked hard. I have worked out hard. I have chased growth in that day and I'm done. That's how I want to look
Mhm.
into my day, and I'm just like, I'm freaking exhausted. I don't want to be. If I ever land, I don't really watch TV, but let's just say, like on a Sunday, I do. I freaking earn that shit, man. You know what I mean? I don't do it every day.
Now,
Very
let me ask you
rare,
this:
actually.
how many of those days do you have in a row?
Ever, dude. Never. I can't even tell you the last time I
No,
laid
no,
on the
no,
couch
no,
to
no,
watch
no.
TV.
I mean the days where like you're done, like
Where
you've
I'm
done it all.
tired every day.
Yeah,
I'm
every day,
exhausted. I mean,
every day.
dude, like, but at the same time, I'm exhausted, but like I am so freaking grateful for my life. Like I am on podcasts with people that I enjoy doing podcasts with. I'm in business with people that I enjoy doing business with. I don't work, dude. I
Right,
don't freaking
right.
work. I never
So
on
you have,
Sunday
but you
night
empty your
go.
tank. You empty
I
your
never on
tank every
Sunday
day.
night go, oh, dude, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I don't ever think like that.
No,
I don't ever think like that.
but you empty your tank every day,
Every day.
every day.
Done.
With
Because, dude, I
passion,
wanna like
with
I
love,
wanna like
with
everything.
actual physical work, with mental work, with problem solving, with talking to friends and communication. You empty your tank every single
Well,
day.
even even kinda catching up to the fact that I said that I knew that there was an issue. I knew that, like, I was being ungrateful. I knew it. So I
Mhm.
worked on it, and that takes work in your
Right.
head.
So reflection,
Yeah, I had to work on it, and then I finally caught
meditation,
up to it. Like,
prayer.
you're being an idiot, dude. Like, you're sitting on a like, the world wants to knock you off your axis of gratitude so deeply that you're not noticing that you're sitting on a pile of awesome shit, dude.
No,
don't
no,
let the
but I think
devil
I
don't let the devil like show you a pebble when you're sitting on a mountain of rad. You know what I mean?
but I think for anybody to listen to this and is, has that oh, they got lucky, or oh, like, whatever mindset that they could possibly have, you empty your tank every single day.
Every day, bro.
I do
100%.
too.
I know you
I
do.
do too. But
Love it.
every day, every day. And
And that's the
and
people that I'm seriously, bro. Like, again, like, I can't give time to people that I don't. I'm too busy, dude. Like, like, let's just keep opening business, or let's just keep doing podcasts, or I love it. I love it. I'm
Mhm,
not going to stop. You know why? Because I freaking love it. And like, Mario, the editor behind here, is like that too. He works his ass off. I respect it. You do too. Credit is too. My business partner, Will, does too. Other than that, if you're not like doing that, I don't give a shit what you do. That's rad. Whatever, if that's what you want to do. I'm not going to go around it because I got some stuff that I want to do, and it's not necessarily to build my bank accounts. This is great. I want to conquer some shit. I want to like
yeah.
become something that like I know that I can. I don't even know what that is yet, but
Hmm.
it's something that I'm working on every single day. So when I turn around at the end of the night, my wife's in bed and I crawl in and she's cute and get a cuddle with her. I worked for it, man.
Hmm.
I go right to bed.
I listed off just a bunch of shit, right? And I listed it off pretty simply, like, all of these things that we empty our tank in. And I know you very well. And I know that you do unload all of those things, and you go through a whole process and a routine and all of that. And it's not like oh, I wake up at this time and I do my skincare routine and I get a cold plunge in and this, that, and the other. It's not like that type of routine. It's like it's a spiritual, mental, emotional, physical routine that we unload every single day.
Empowerment.
And it's that's what I'm talking about. The nuances, the cold plunge, right? The meal prep, all of those things are ancillary, right?
Yeah.
And those are, but the truth is, those things are probably there to help us in emptying our tank in the areas that really matter: the prayer, the manifestation, the meditation, the problem solving, the communication, the vulnerability,
Oh,
the
yeah.
the obviously physical labor and physical work.
When's
And
the work done, dude?
was never done.
Ever. Like, you're
No,
never completed. Like, you're never like, whoa.
no.
Like, it's so funny. It's such a ruse that they sell you. Work your ass off, go to a job you hate, try to save some money so you can retire. By the time you retire, you're almost dead. So that's a ruse they sell you. Like, you know what I
Mhm,
mean? Like, you're never retired. You're growing constantly, because when you stop growing, that's when people die anyway. They stop working. They have nothing to go for. There's no life in them. You know what I mean? Like, we've been lucky, both of us, to step out of the matrix, so to speak, of the bullshit,
mhm.
and like know that there is a wide world of freaking awesome out there. And I haven't even touched the beginning of it. So I want to touch it all,
Mhm.
dude. So yeah, I work my ass off to try to chase all that shit because I can. You too.
Yeah, it's probably I don't think that people can just can actually understand it, like, or like, it's so funny because it's like, oh, tell me what to do and I'll do it, and be like, dude, like, it's not like what you do, it's what you put your heart into. It's not things that you do, it's not tasks. Like, yeah, there's tasks, but that's the bare minimum.
Where do you find joy at? Like, ask, like, whoever's listening to this. This is a serious question. Where do you find joy at? And I'm going to answer that because I want you to understand where I'm coming from. I personally find joy in this, having a conversation with somebody that I love having conversations with. Why? Because it makes me think. It makes
Mhm.
me better. And I enjoy these types of conversations. Like, what to me is not joy is going home, popping a beer or Coke, or just sitting on the couch and just being a dud. That's not joyful life for me, dude. I don't want any part of that. That sucks. That
So
sucks.
what, what you're
That's a
what you're
life killer.
saying what you're saying reminds me of a saying that I heard when I first got sober: the opposite of addiction is connection.
Boom.
And that for me was when I heard that, and it was like, well, what have I always loved? I've always loved people. And I've always loved being a leader. And I've always loved connecting with people, right? And like I said earlier, vulnerability is the ultimate connection.
Oh yeah.
So the opposite of addiction is connection. So what we get to do for a
Vulnerability, like,
living.
think of it like this, Justin. vulnerability, you just said that. You said vulnerability is the connection. I'll give you an example. We might have talked about this before. This is perfect for this. When my mom passed when I was 20, if I meet anybody that their parent passed, instant connection, because we have been through the same shit. There's a vulnerability we just shared. I don't care who you are. We just shared that vulnerability. You've been through some shit, bro. I've been through some shit too. Connection. Boom.
Mhm.
And it comes in all kinds
Yeah.
of different forms. Vulnerability comes in all kinds of different forms, but
I heard,
sometimes
I
forced.
heard, I heard somebody do a talk about vulnerability and human connection, and they talk about how when you are consumed, okay, and that when you have like when you're falling to your impulses, which is actually what today's daily stoic is about. We don't have time to get into that, but when you are drinking, using, when you are doing things like gambling, watching porn, shit like that, like when you are falling to vices and when you are looking to escape what is actually the present moment, but the funny thing is you're actually looking for the present moment. That's why you're doing those things. It's a false
Catch
sense of
22.
present
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
You realize that you cannot pick and choose which emotions you're blocking out. Did you know that?
Makes sense.
In
I've
other
never heard it
words,
that way, but it
like,
makes sense.
yeah, in other words, like if like you're sad, so you drink. Well, you're also so drinking numbs the sadness. Your brain body doesn't know that's what you're trying to suppress. So what does it do? It suppresses everything. When you're numbing your brain with like doom scrolling and things like that, you're numbing your brain to suppress the boredom.
Yeah.
Well, your brain doesn't know that you're numbing your body. You don't know that you're doing it to numb the boredom. It suppresses everything
Right.
else.
Yeah.
So the goal, right, is to be in the present moment, right? Like that's the goal. That's why people drink, because people drink because they're either concerned about the future or they're trying to forget the past. What does that mean? You're trying to drink to bring yourself to the present moment,
Trying to
right?
not be here.
Yeah, yeah, and or yeah, and so when you are able to bring yourself to the present moment, it opens you up to so many other emotions and so many other feelings and so many other ways to connect with individuals. That's why presence is presence. It's the greatest gift that you can give somebody.
Huge.
And
It's not easy.
and so for so many people who find themselves caving to their impulses, who find themselves constantly needing to be consumed, constantly needing to be polluted, fucked up, whatever, they don't know what it feels like to actually feel. And when they say that, when we say that, like it's like, when we get sober, we actually feel things, right? Because we've been so used to being suppressed that it's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, okay, we're sober now. We actually feel things. What's the next level, right? And the next level is believing in people. The next level is opening yourself up to connections with others because you get to actually experience true connection now, which you never got to experience before when you were
Yeah.
drinking, drugging, and avoiding the present moment. So
Yeah.
that's really powerful. And
Huge.
for people listening to this, it might be complicated to consider, but try it. Try actually staying present. Try actually giving people the benefit of the doubt. Try actually connecting with others and see where that goes in your life. That doesn't mean you have to exhaust all of your energy into them. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't carry your authority into a connection with somebody, especially if you have arrived at some place of being of authority in the first place.
Right.
Carry that into it, but give that person your presence while holding on to the authority, and you will have somebody who admires you. You'll get admiration, you'll get respect,
Right.
you'll get everything you could ever ask for, and you will never have a hard time finding a paycheck again. I can promise you that.
Love it. Mic drop, dude. Good stuff. It's so funny, man. We if we don't ever even need any type of like roadmap, bro. We just go. Where are we going? Let's just go.
That's really good.
I freaking love you, bro. Your smile says you're happy. That makes me happy. We'll see each other soon. I love whenever you're coming here. I'm excited for you to sit across my table because I got to sit across you at your studio. And now I have my studio. You lit that fire for me to do that. So because I was like, this is cool. I need to do this. And
The
now
new studio is going to be done this weekend.
I love it.
And then we have a guest room and everything, so you come out and
It'd be good, bro.
and
Well, I'll
stay
get up
here.
there. I'll get up there for sure, man. Well,
Awesome.
good
Well,
stuff,
listen, if
man.
you
I
guys
love you,
like what
buddy.
I always fuck this up. If you guys like what you heard, make sure you click subscribe, make sure you like, comment, do all that good stuff. Share this with some friends that need to hear it. We will catch you next time on the Sick Boys podcast. And thank you again. We're out.
Later, guys.